Six again. Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of The Buy Around. I'm your host, James Graham, and today I'm joined by, I'm going to say this, unfortunately, by Charlie White.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the show. The reason we've done six again is because you were going to say, welcome to a very special edition of The Buy Around.
No, it wasn't, because me and you isn't a special edition. The reason I say unfortunately is because we thought we were going to have Chammy on. Pre-announcement.
We had Michael Chammas locked in for the podcast today. This was when he was still a man of the media.
Yeah.
His media career is over.
We can't give him tax-free dollars.
Nah.
The government imposed on us we have to pay tax. He's gone to the promised land of a tax-free wage.
Well, what would you do if you were him? Would you start getting paid now? Because if I was him, I'd say...
Front load me.
I'll say, don't worry about paying me for the next 18 months. I'll collect it when I arrive in Papua New Guinea.
Well, that just goes to show how much you've got squirred away. Actually, the bank of mum and dad, Charlie White, Mr. and Mrs. White will fund these operations.
Not my parents. But yeah, if I was Chammy, that's what I'd do. Because you're almost better. So even if you borrowed money, what's the interest on a loan? 5%? He could be paying 0% tax and double his salary. All he has to do is kick it down 18 months.
Yeah.
You know, let's say let's speculate what he's getting paid. Now he's out there, we can start speculating
the
about what he's
highest paid managers of football, our top 10. There's a podcast.
Exactly. Well, I mean, $60 million a year in funding from the government.
600 million.
60 million a year, so 600 over 10.
What's Chammy taking?
Chammy, what do you reckon? Does he get $800,000 a year? Let's call him an $800,000 a year general manager.
Post-tax or...
Well, doesn't matter. Tax is irrelevant for him.
Well, I think your take-home pay, I think they're going to have to look at their staff and go, we're talking about take-home pay here, guys. We're not talking about... You can't... head of football wouldn't be getting 800, would they?
Well, no, but I'm speculating, like journos do. You speculate on players' salaries from time to time. I'm speculating on Chammas' salary. And I'm saying, if I was a general manager of football, you'd expect to be a bit more higher paid in Papua New Guinea, considering the club is getting 60 million from the government before we've even kicked a ball, before we've sold a sponsor, before we've sold a ticket to the game.
But do you not reckon that the NRL have gone to Chammy because they know that there's this huge appetite to break into this? So it's a bit of a, look, here's your opportunity.
You think he's a cheap hire, maybe? Could be.
I mean, he was the one that tossed up Hawaii, Port Moresby. He's ended up in not quite Hawaii.
He nearly got the Perth Bears job as well. Yeah. We did a podcast here. If you want to get a look inside the mind of Michael Chammas and how he builds a roster, you should go listen to that podcast. But in all seriousness, I think he'll be amazing.
I think he'll be amazing too. And we're going to talk about him in that role a little bit later on in the show. But disappointed he's not here with us. But Charlie, how have you been, mate? You're looking you look like you're glowing. You almost look like you've started a challenge and we're 5 days in.
We're 5 days into 75 hard. So I am not drinking at the moment. Not drinking, obviously, for 75 days, that will be 2 workouts a day, 3.8 litres of water. I've got a bottle here for this podcast. And you got to eat clean as well. So it will be the longest I haven't drunk. And people might think this is a bit strange, but since I was about 14 years old, it will be the longest gap that I haven't drunk. So it's a test around that. It's also, time of the year, lock in, get a bit fresher feeling. Big summer, just had, So yeah, that's it.
So you're going to Las Vegas?
I'm going to Las Vegas sober, which is going to be nearly impossible, but I'm going to try my best to be sober in Las Vegas. I've done Las Vegas the last 2 years, so I know what it's like now. I've had my fun with it. I'm treating it more like a business trip rather than a holiday. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be sober. I'll be focused.
I'm glad that you've just got the normal bottle of water. One of my pet hates, something I really don't like to see, is these people that walk around with huge water bottles with almost like markers on them saying like, keep going. Like it's got like instructions.
Oh, the ones that say, you're doing good.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
You're nearly there.
Yeah.
A few more sips. It's like, if you need motivation to drink the water, then, I mean, come on.
I have got a big white bottle of water though that I've been carrying around. It's about similar to this size.
Yeah.
I've just forgotten it today, but I have got one of those big water bottles. It doesn't have the markings on it.
You know, like with say screens, for example, like mobile phones get smaller. You know, it was all about compact. Water bottles are getting bigger, and it's really annoying. Mate, there's some people have water bottles. It's almost like you have to take the door off. Tony, our producer back there as well, is lugging what appears to be about a 3-litre bottle, aluminium as well. Like, what's wrong?
He's going camping. It looks like he's going camping for a weekend. He's got he's got 2 days of water there in that bottle, the 2-litre bottle.
What's wrong with a little bit of microplastics in your system? Keep the body guessing. You know, the aluminium. I mean, what would you rather have? A bit of plastic or a bit of aluminium?
You know, the danger with the water bottles, the reusable water bottles, is actually mold that gets in the straws because they don't get cleaned properly. They're hard to clean. So if you do have one of those reusable water bottles, keep a close eye on the straw. Keep a close eye on the bottle because mold can be an issue. Okay,
well, I think we're either going to have to cut that out or we're going to have to get stuck into the football, Charlie, because if that doesn't turn you off the podcast, then nothing will. Make sure you clean your water bottles, chaps. You know what? What are you trying to say about our listeners? They're that thick that they don't know that their water bottles need cleaning.
Well, I only figured that out a couple months ago. I found out. So I had a water bottle. And someone asked me if I'd cleaned it. I said, I've never cleaned my water bottle. Why would I clean a water bottle?
There's only water in it.
Water goes through it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Itself.
It gets
self-cleaning water bottle.
Exactly.
It's water going through it.
Exactly.
Happy days.
But apparently it gets mold in it and bacteria.
Keep the body guessing.
That's what they say, mate. That's what they say. Where were you this morning? I've been sent a little bit of a vision from my good friend Joe Iat of you doing a footy passing challenge with Jack Rewalt, the AFL player.
Yeah, that's right. The KO Rival Series, AFL, NRL, and Rugby Union going head to head.
Rexona
partners with KO. I was actually up in Hamilton Island while this was being filmed on a family holiday, so I got to see up close what was going on. But no, me and Jack did NRL v AFL, and it was good fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
We'll see. Stay tuned for some videos. Winston Neville was there with you. He's filmed the whole thing. So
on form, good old Winston Neville. Geez, he's got a great trip ahead of him. He's going to New York, then to Las Vegas. Pays to be a content creator, doesn't he?
Jeez, doesn't it what? He's a big New York Knicks fan as well. He loves his New York Knicks basketballs. That's why we're going there. But breaking news today, kickoff rules. Is it going to happen? Are they going to have that kickoff rule come in? Well, the answer is no.
No, they're not. And I think this is a smart decision by the NRL. I think it's too much of a game changer not to allow the clubs a full pre-season practicing these rules. Now, a lot of people would say, well, it doesn't make any difference and it's all about the game. And I get that. I think that type of change, you need to give the clubs more runway and more practice. And also, I think what it would create, if it was to be given... Look, I think these rule changes have taken too long to be announced. I'm not sure when the clubs actually found out, but usually it's not that long before the general public because it would have just got leaked anyway.
Yeah, the players were in the dark until today as well.
So with the kickoff rule, if it had have changed, I think there may be some clubs that would have accused other clubs of having insider knowledge and would have been training for this from the very get-go on November the 1st. So I think it's a smart move by the NRL. Also, it's about putting the feeler out to the fans and gauging the reaction, which I think has been quite negative. So, look, good on the NRL for, I guess, listening to their fans. We'll see in maybe 9-10 months' time whether or not that they do look to bring this change in. Some of the other changes, we spoke with Luke Keary a couple of weeks ago around the art of the interchange bench has now been taken away. So, generally speaking, Luke convinced me with that one. I like the 7 tackle set not being awarded. Sorry.
Just on the interchange, let's talk about that for a second because it goes from 4 to 6. The thought that I've had is, what about that player that gets picked for Origin and they're in the squad now and they're sitting there and there's going to be 2 players every Origin game that sit on the bench just hoping to come into the action every single time. An extra $30,000 for someone, bravo.
But
to
they're
that
not.
person.
They're not able to play. Yeah, so that's going to create another headache.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be an extra player that is
Because we've had the 18th man. It's been enacted, I think, twice in Origin.
Yeah, but obviously a lot of calls over the past couple of years to have that 18th man be eligible to play club football the weekend before State of Origin, which at the time of an 18th man I was in support of. Now with a 6-person bench, that's not going to be able to happen, and it is going to create that extra headache for one club.
Because you'd be shitty, wouldn't you? If you're a club going through that period and your player gets picked as the 19th man, it's gonna, because it really, like, you got to like, what's the strategy around these extra 2 players? Is it a spine player? Is it an outside back? You know, what sort of player? Because it's not going to be a middle forward. It's not going to be an edge forward.
Charlie, your whole 6 will consist of 3 middles, 1 edge, a half, and an outside back.
Yeah. So it's going to be an outside back or a half that gets taken from Clubland for that.
And when I say 3 middles, you might have a hook. Like, there's way more options. So when a coach used to be, all right, what am I going to pick my bench? You know, the high risk of losing a key position player if you went with 4 forwards, or not having an outside back. There's more points of conjecture and more jeopardy in picking the bench or not picking a person for the bench. But now that alleviates that, or it gives you way more options to play with.
Yeah.
So there's less thinking that the coaches have to do. Right, if this is my team and I've got 4 forwards on the bench, they would have to really consider what they do if they lose a 5'8" or a halfback, fullback.
Yeah.
The rejigging of the team. Now they're not really going to have that thought process. It's going to be way more extreme. So, there's way more options there.
Because for New South Wales, for example, you imagine everyone's fully fit. Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary are your first choice halves, given the success they had 2 years ago. And then the other one is so Jerome Luai is the odd man out in that scenario. So if the West Tigers are playing during Origin, they're going to lose Luai because he'll be part of that extended bench. You'd have to imagine.
Absolutely, he would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that situation will likely arise.
Yeah.
If everybody's fit and in form, I'd say.
Yeah.
So it is going to be quite consequential, especially around Origin time. Well done, Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
I was just going to skip over it.
Yeah.
The 20-meter 6 again. I think we're going to see clubs really emphasise slowing down plays 1 and 2, especially in those deep yardage sets, because really they know the value in controlling those rucks, and now the consequences of giving away a penalty, obviously are extended 20 metres. So expect to see clubs really look to force the issue on not being too fussed about giving away a 6 again. Plays 1 and 2 in and around that 20 to 40 metre zone.
I'd love to sort of hear the thinking around this rule, because I thought the way it was last year worked really well. So I don't know what the need for the change is there.
Less stoppage.
Yeah.
It creates less stoppages and more ball in play, which seems to be a real marker of of success. The game is now priding itself on amount of ball in play,
but
amount of time the ball is in play, and that will bring maybe on average maybe an extra. Well, I'm just plucking these figures out of my head. Maybe an extra minute of ball in play a game, which seems to be.
I doubt we'll get an extra minute though from it. Like, in all honesty, it's a couple of times a game.
Yeah, so a couple of times a game, you alleviate 2 penalties a game. It's probably about a minute of genuine ball in play. If you instead of going penalty, right, take the kick. If you do that twice, as opposed to just 6 again, the ball is never out of play. So maybe an extra minute of ball in play time.
Yeah.
You would see.
Yeah.
That's a guess. So.
Do you see the trainer rule they've brought in as well?
So restricting the access of the trainers.
So there's going to be very much set times a trainer can get involved, come on the field. I'm going to call this the Penrith Panthers rule. Their trainers, all the drama we had last year, with the game against the Gold Coast Titans where he ran in front of Jaden Campbell.
Still be able to do that. You'd still be able to do that.
Well, I mean, I guess that would be the time where you can go in there and give him a drink, but you definitely won't be able to run past a goal kicker.
Well, you've never been allowed to run past the goal kicker.
No.
Can I be honest? I think it's just an aesthetics, and it is a pet peeve of a lot of fans. Like the trainer's always on, but they're not really doing anything. Like they're giving instructions that most players probably aren't listening to. They'll just be yelling them from the sideline, like as opposed to entering the field. So maybe those fans that. Or those commentators that get annoyed by the fans going on, you won't be able to watch if you sat at the front because the trainer will be stood there yelling stuff. I don't know. For me, it's I think it's a bugbear of the fans, and the NRL have listened to the fans.
Yeah,
like less trainer time. Look, players aren't going to be affected by this. Okay. In fact, they'll probably, they won't care. Yeah. Players won't care. Coaches might get, how am I going to tell my players what to do? The good sides won't be affected. Before we get back into the show, I just want to talk about NordVPN because it's something I genuinely use all the time. It is switched on permanently, and that is because my online safety is absolutely paramount to me. I know we all like to use our public Wi-Fi services, and hats off to those providers, but it does come with an element of risk. But NordVPN does help you out and keeps you safe online. We all love to take advantage of that free Wi-Fi, don't we? When we see it in the cafe, the restaurant, the hotel lobby, it's free, I'll get on. But you don't sometimes realize how much danger you are putting yourself in. But all thanks to NordVPN, you can alleviate that danger. It hides your passwords, emails, bank details, which are so important. It hides the absolute lot. It also encrypts all your data and hides your IP address so you are invisible when you're online. Of course, NordVPN has the threat protection built in, so all those dodgy websites are blocked before they even get a chance to load. And how good is this? 10 devices covered in the one account. So to get the best discount on your NordVPN, head to nordvpn.com/JamesGraham. You'll get 4 months free when you sign up to the 2-year package, and there is no risk with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Link is in the episode notes.
Michael Chammas is going to have to start worrying about these issues from an executive standpoint.
He sure is.
Because he is the PNG Chiefs general manager of football. Wow, what an incredible opportunity for him.
Huge, mate, huge. And in all seriousness, he's come on the show a number of times. We've done the Build-A-Bear. He's been passionate about this type of role for some time, for years now. And although he does an excellent job in the media, like he is one of the best in the business. And it has created, I'm sure we'll talk about this vacuum with him and Buzz going out at the same time, two of the genuinely leading people in NRL journalism. But Michael Chammas has made no apologies for him wanting this type of role, and congratulations to him. I think the easy thing for Michael Chammas in a career is to just stay doing what he's doing, and he'd have a great life as a NRL journalist for the next 30 years.
Yeah,
and he's decided to try and do something new, and I think he should be applauded for trying. And maybe he'll come back if it doesn't go well. Or at some stage he'll come back to journalism, and people might give him stick for it. But I've got nothing but praise for people that not leap into the unknown, but go, I'm going to change course here. I'm going to try something new, and he's putting it on the line. Like he is one of the most successful journalists, and he likely would. You know, we could forecast, Charlie, that he was on track to be number one in the NRL, all things considered.
If he wasn't already.
If he wasn't already.
Yeah.
And he's give that up.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to give credit to those type of people.
100%. And like, in my opinion, like knowing the way the media world works, if he wanted to, if this doesn't go well, he will walk back into a media job very easily. He will get another job as a journalist, given the context he has in the game. If anything, doing this job, whether it goes well or not, improves his credibility as a journalist.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wow, this guy's also been involved in clubland. He knows how this works. It just adds layers of knowledge to him as a person. So it would not affect his media career whatsoever. And I think he will be hugely, hugely successful.
Yeah, I think he will be as well. This isn't just a knee-jerk reaction to an opportunity coming up. This is something that has been on his radar for quite some time now. And look, just the one thing apart from good luck is just feed us some stories that we can start breaking here on the buy round about who is going to be wearing the PNG Chiefs jerseys, who's the head coach breaks on the buy round. Oh my God.
Because there is a journalist vacuum, and maybe you and me, Jimmy, can step into that role for replace Buzz and Chammy, and we can break news, and our number one source could potentially be Michael Chammas. Yeah. You know, but the thing is, I think the reality of what is going to happen for Chammy's too smart and knows how the media works. Getting information out of him is going to be impossible. Because he's so aware of the agendas of when a media person rings them to try and find out what's going on.
He's got to play the game.
Well, he'll probably pick his moments and he'll find his journos that he gives information to. Will he be loyal to his former employer Fairfax, perhaps? Or will he go towards, his good friend Brent Reid and David Riccio? Who knows?
Spotted Michael Chammas meeting player X. How good.
Yeah, it's honestly though, there is a lot of criticism for it though from fans online. A lot of the comments are very negative about it. Trust me, if you got to know him and you understood like a bit about what he's about, which you can see from the podcast he's done and the media he's done, he's got a huge knowledge of this, and he's a hardworking person, extremely hardworking.
And I think Charlie, for the naysayers again, like he's going out there and having a crack. He's got every reason to keep doing what he's doing, and look back in 10, 20 years' time, and go, that opportunity, wonder what would have happened.
Yeah.
And we look at people in these types of roles, there is a path usually that people go down, but as you've spoke about before the show, that it can be the role of being in the media can then translate to roles like this.
Yeah, it's not that rare. Like, I mean, you look at the Broncos CEO, Dave Donaghy, he's a journalist. He started as a journalist. The Storm CEO, Justin Rodsky, started out as a journalist. In American sports, Adrian Wojnarowski left a $10 million a year deal at ESPN to go and be the head of basketball at his alma mater back in America, in college basketball. Like, these things happen. And yeah, I think he's going to be really good. One of the concerns people have is his relationship with Isaac Moses, and it's not a good one, but that's not that strange. Executives have bad relationships with agents all the time. Yeah. Like Nick Politis and Isaac Moses don't see eye to eye. Like a lot of people don't see eye to eye with Isaac Moses. Like, that's not a big deal.
No.
And I looked at all of Isaac's clients. Like, how many Origin players do you think he had last year?
4?
2. Mitchell Moses played 1 game, and then Reece Robson played all 3 games. And that's not just Isaac Moses. That's his entire agency that he manages, the Cove agency. So, like, this idea that Isaac has all these big name players is a little bit inflated. Like, he's got some good players, of course, but he's not that influential where it's like, if Isaac doesn't bring my players, this club's screwed.
Yeah.
Like, he manages a ton of the coaches. That's where Isaac's influence is at its greatest. So him and Chammas not having a great relationship, that actually won't benefit Isaac. If anything, Isaac needs to have a good relationship with Michael Chammas to try and get one of his coaches in that PNG Chiefs head coaching position, which you imagine Michael Chammas will have a huge influence over.
Yeah, look, and I think that the relationship between, it's my understanding, between Isaac Moses and the Sydney Roosters Football Club and Mr. Politis is over. and done. But with Michael Chammas and Isaac Moses, there's incentive for both of them to rekindle that relationship.
Definitely.
And just because you're not on each other's Christmas card list doesn't mean you can't get business done together.
Yeah.
Like, it appears as though the Sydney Roosters are going to have that approach. No, there is no business being done. But there's a huge difference between Michael Chammas being a journalist and Isaac Moses, who didn't want his client going on for whatever reason. Like, that relationship can be patched up, or it can just be business, professional relationship.
Your club, Jimmy, Gus Gould, he had no relationship with Isaac Moses, didn't see eye to eye with him, and then he was able to bring Lockie Galvin to the
exactly.
club.
So, look, these things change.
Yeah.
But you can speak to other people, or it is purely business. Don't need to pretend that we're getting on and do the small talk. Let's just get down to business. Let's not insult each other with our offers and our expectations. Let's do business, because look, PNG will be an attractive opposition, a very different an attractive proposition for a number of people. And if you're a client, if Isaac Moses is your manager, you're going to want to hear about what's going on over there.
Yeah,
like, if you're off contract there, some of the opportunities, it's huge.
Just on Chammy as well, I just spoke about their head coaching gig. That's obviously one of their biggest challenges, and whether that's a Michael Chammas decision or that's a Peter V'landys decision, probably more likely Peter V'landys makes a call like that on the new PNG Chiefs head coaching position, obviously given the NRL's involvement with the PNG franchise. There is talk that because obviously Chammas is more inexperienced, that they want to put an experienced coach alongside him. And a couple of the names that are coming up are Brad Arthur, Jason Demetrio, and then the name we were all hearing last year was Wayne Bennett. Whether or not Wayne wants to do it, though, that's the question.
It probably depends on this year and this year for Souths, because they come in 2028, don't they?
2028, yep. So we've
there's
got
2 more seasons of football to play out.
They can start recruiting players from November 1, just like we've seen with Perth Bears have started their recruitment drive. It's the same thing for PNG from November 1 this year.
Yeah. I guess, look, Wayne, he if he wants it, he'll get it.
Yeah.
South Sydney fans, if he wants to say it Souths, providing they perform well, he'll keep that job too.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it probably stands at the moment.
Yeah. I feel like a younger name, if you want to talk about young coach, I think Ben Teo would be amazing there. Like, I just think, a guy with his hunger, and he's done his time now as an assistant, obviously under Wayne at the Dolphins. Now he's under Mark Maguire. They just won a premiership together there at the Broncos. I think he'd be a guy who would be really good, and also maybe with the environment and everyone's going to be in really close quarters, a younger coach might suit the players, someone who can connect closer with the players. It might suit that.
I think that's where Wayne would be really good. He's so used to being in that camp environment, which this new PNG side is going to be. They're going to be living in a community together, and then on the road every 2 weeks, if that's how the competition structure looks like at that stage. When the PNG side come into the competition, it could look very different. They might look to do 4 weeks on the road, 4 weeks back at home. We're not too sure on how that will look, but either way, Wayne Bennett would be great for that, and it's going to be a big part of the setup in knowing not just your coaches for X's and O's, but all about environment, and then how much is this coach expected to do in the promotion of the game over there, with the pathway systems that need to be implemented. I think with the financial clout that this PNG franchise has, you really need specialists in that pathway role. Like, there's so much untapped potential there. So not wasted, but underutilized potential. That this is a job for an expert. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me to see the NRL go to somewhere like the Penrith Panthers, that realised they were sat on this underutilised resource for decades they've sat there, and then at some point, not just the penny drops, but they put the infrastructure in place, the pathway in place to produce players, create an environment, and then look, they've seen the fruits of that. I think the same sort of plan implementation needs to go over to PNG, because there is so many diamonds in the rough there. There's so many players there that, given the right opportunities, the right coaching, the right guidance, could become NRL players.
And for it to have like success long term, there needs to be a large portion of the playing group that is from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
So whether that's 30% of the roster, who knows? But that's definitely important.
I think that there's an element of that. I don't think you need to solely focus on, where the player is from and whether that gives him extra credibility or not. But I think the long-term plan was to see that pathway system, that youth development, produce players.
Yeah.
And I think it naturally will if the correct plan is implemented.
On the difficulty with recruitment, like, do you think that's going to be a challenge? They're going to have the tax-free incentive. I did a podcast today with Aaron Woods and Wade Graham, and they both think it's going to be a huge challenge getting players there. I think it's not. I think if you start looking at the finances of it, it's too beneficial, this tax-free stuff, that players are just going to sign up to it.
It's almost too beneficial. There's pros and cons to the deal, right? If you're the stereotypical NRL player playing a Sydney club, Queensland club, Canberra, Melbourne Warriors, whatever it may be, Newcastle, maybe in Perth, the offer would come through and you'd look at it and you'd go, okay, well, we're going to have to balance this out. Yeah, we're going to, and this whole we have to move to PNG. Well, they're going to make it pretty good there. It's not going to be, you're not going to be living in on the street. You're going to be well looked after. Your family's going to be looked after. They're going to look at all these potential issues of recruitment. They're going to look to solve. And then you balance that with tax-free incentive. For Wade and Woods, I think they maybe forget just what the anxiety is like of the present day athlete when it comes to finances. We see the Clearys and the Walshes and the Haas of the world, and the Munsters get rewarded with these lucrative $1 million deals, but most aren't on that. And even if you look at a player who maybe takes home, signs a 4-year deal on $800,000, which is huge money. What that person would be actually taking home is maybe what, $550, and then you've got the cost of living. You're gonna, not only are you gonna get tax free, but you're not gonna have to pay any rent.
Exactly.
So your cost of living, you go, okay, if you're on that 800 mark, and maybe you get a little bit more to go. If you're a bit more of a marquee man, you get $1 million, and then you're squirreling away $900 a year. It sets you up for life.
100%. And
you can advertise it to your family. It's like, this is going to set us up for life. It happens in many vocations. I look at England now, and actually one of my best mate has been offered a job in Qatar, tax-free. And he's in that debate zone now of like, well, do I take the family? Do I leave them home? Like, is it worth it? Can I negotiate the salary? What are the pros and cons? Like this is a real world example that's happening in my home country of England and Britain, where executives, top brass are being poached by some of these countries. And why would I want to live in Qatar? Why would I want to live in Saudi Arabia? Why do I want to live in one of these countries? Like, it's obviously very different. Well, we're going to take care of all the schools. We're going to put you in a really nice house, beautiful apartment. The AC's cranking. We're going to make life pretty good for you. Don't you worry about that. And we're going to give you tax-free money. So look, this whole idea that people won't be interested and incentivized I just think is nonsense. I think players will be looking at this and going, I want some of this action.
Well, even like the depth in the squad's going to be incredible because all of those slightly lesser paid players, the guys who are on 500, and lesser paid isn't even 500,000, but say you're on 500,000, you'd probably take home after tax about 300 grand, pay about 200 grand in tax. So before even making any savings elsewhere in your life, you've got an extra 200 grand a year you could be saving.
Yeah, banked.
Like Will Kennedy, for example, he's on like 500 this year at the Sharks. He would be saving 200 grand extra straight away. You do that over a few years, you're set for life.
Yeah.
You're set for life.
Yeah.
Like you invest that money, you are set for life. You can buy your house, you can make a huge dent in your mortgage. Like, I think they're going to be able to sign players easily.
Yeah, and look, the anxiety for those in, I guess, quote unquote, like normal jobs, the trajectory of, your annual salary usually goes up, like with age. Obviously, being a professional athlete, it's very, very different, and that knowing that comes, it hangs over your head. It does, and you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and players do wonder, like, what is post-career going to look like in multiple areas of life. Probably none more so than financially, and this is a great way for any player to put away those doubts.
Yeah, and like an example of this recently, Dylan Brown got a 10-year, $13 million deal, and everyone said, bravo, sign that deal, you're a genius. Well, if you do the maths of it, it's probably like an 800. Like I can check what his take-home pay is now. Actually, I've got it right here in front of me on the tax calculator. So he'd be paying $551,000 in tax every year. So he'd be down to, from 1.3 goes down to $750,000 take-home pay.
It's
take-home
huge.
pay, which is huge. So that means everyone said, Dylan Brown, you have to take that contract.
Yeah.
Well, for PNG, that's giving out a $750,000 a year contract. So for all these, and I know Newcastle obviously is a much better place to live than Papua New Guinea. However, these players can do these deals for 4 or 5 years, completely change their life, save so much money, they're going to do it.
I think it will happen. They'll get plenty of good signings.
Jay Trbojevic, now he's sporting a new headgear. It's sort of like it's got like a bubbly
almost looks like
headgear.
bubble wrap. Yeah,
it's an interesting setup. But he's obviously doing it for good reason. Last year, he obviously finished up earlier in the year, had several concussions. It was 3 concussions last year.
3 last year,
Yeah, and he then took time off to finish the year. He said some stuff, though, that he sort of thinks he's almost 1 concussion away, which is such a shame for him. But he wants to play on this year. It's his final year contracted at Manly as well. You've obviously been in a similar position as this yourself, Jimmy, at the end of your career.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Jake spoke about how he's done neck strengthening exercises. He's looked at his footwork and his technique in looking to avoid these concussions. It's funny, isn't it? We often think about Jake Trbojevic and use him as a poster boy for tackle technique. Just hit under the ball, like Jake Trbojevic. Well, even people like Jake get it wrong, and that's not putting any blame on him. Good on Jake for taking all the steps to try and prevent concussion. I think that's brilliant. This device or this headgear, I can only assume it's been passed by the NRL, because you can't wear anything that it endangers unnecessary or increases the risk of injury for your opponent. Any arm guard, shoulder pad, sternum pad, they all get checked out pre-game to make sure they don't. So obviously with Jake's headgear, it's got to fit the protocol. But it seems as though Jake has thought very deeply about this, and it's something that I did as well. And I guess for me, changing how you play, you think about where you stand on the field. Jake's a front rower /13. Maybe you'll stand on the 10 as opposed to taking those first runs off the kickoff. Instead of standing at 5 in, you stand 5 out. So in the middle of the defence, you've got positions that you're more or less likely to make a tackle. But obviously, for me, you can go about doing those things, but it is difficult to enter a game with this going through your mind. And also, the risk doesn't go. It just passes on to somebody else. Which Jake is a leader and a warrior, so that's going to be hard. That arguably is the hardest thing to swallow up, that you're passing on this level of danger to a younger player. And that's not an easy thing to do. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
And for me, Jake enters this final year of his deal at the Manly club, and I entered the final year of my deal at the St. George Illawarra Dragons, and I was full of hope, based off our 2018 season. 19, the line got put through that, but I entered it in full of hope, thinking we can make playoffs. We can give this a red hot crack. Now, as soon as that belief got dinted, as soon as I made the call that this team wasn't going to play playoffs and wasn't going to win a comp, I'd quit. I was done. I quit. I made the calculation in my head that this wasn't worth the risk anymore. And it's a risk reward. Like, I've seen, very rarely do I look at the comments, but I looked at the article, and some people are saying, like, what's the point, Jake? You've done all you need to do. You've been a club legend. Like, you don't need to give us any more. But people don't think like that. They make risk assessments. And so I decided that at the Dragons, it wasn't worth me risking this anymore. But at St. Helens, it was. And maybe Jake might just be faced with that dilemma. I don't know. It depends how many.
You wanted that premiership.
Well, yeah, you want to win.
You want to win, yeah.
It's hard when you're losing to justify the risk. Like, that winning feeling is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, at any level, whether you're playing, Oztag on a Tuesday evening down the local park, five-a-side, AFL, rugby union, Connect 4, whatever you're playing, when you win, it feels good.
Yeah.
And when you don't, you're figuring, why am I doing this? And you're figuring out ways to be better. But when you've got that risk of concussion or the history of concussion, it plays on your mind about whether or not it's a risk worth taking. Yeah. And it's different with age. And Jake probably... Look, all I can talk about is my journey and my experience, that, like, my appetite for risk changed, but then probably a level of guilt dragged me back in, and default positions, I just couldn't help myself and just do it.
Did it change the way you play then during that period?
Yeah, well,
are you more conscious of, like, where you're putting your head at that stage?
Not into. I knew certain situations were more risky than others. So, again, you make that choice. Maybe I won't stand at the back. Maybe I won't stand at this fifth position in. Yeah. Just. Yeah, it changes. Yeah, it's but I think Jake's making all the right moves to try and prevent. But it's it's a tough position for him to be in. Like, and even again, for those people that say, what's the point? What's the risk? Well, it's not worth the risk. They don't understand the athlete mentality, and they don't understand the psyche, and they don't understand that, like, we just spoke about with the financial pressures on athletes. Like, athletes don't like it ever being over. And you go, just get Jake in a player development role or whatever. You think that's going to make him tick?
Yeah.
It's like this problem of just, well, a player's had a X amount of concussions. You've got to stop them from playing. You think that solves the problem? It solves the problem, but it creates more.
And Manly would support him no matter what he wanted to do. Jake Trbojevic, he's like part of the fabric of that club. He's going to be one of the most important players who have ever played for the Manly Seagulls, regardless of whether Manly win a premiership this year or whatever they do. But they need him this year, don't they? Because I was watching the Cast Patrol podcast on Instagram, and they did this. They were talking about all the players Manly have lost. It's 1,200 first grade games that they've lost coming into this year of experience. It's a huge outgoing. And it's really hard to work out Manly this year. If some things go well, if Trbojevic is back to his best, both Tom and Jake, that's a huge in. If
Kohler, Hopper, they can all find the right position.
Yeah, if Fogarty comes in and makes a huge impact, but it also could go the other way, couldn't it? Imagine they lose Trbojevic. Imagine Fogarty doesn't hit the ground running. Imagine they lose a key forward again like Paseka or Olakawatu, because that Paseka injury was huge for them last year.
Yeah.
Losing him to that Achilles injury completely changed their season.
It did, yeah. And obviously, it's all eyes will be on Fogarty. Just quickly on DCE.
Yeah.
I was having a chat with someone the other day. He's the last NRL player to be born in the 80s.
Is he born in the 80s? Of course he would have been, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Benny Hunt, Adam Reynolds, born in the 1990. Yeah.
Wow, the last man in the 80s.
The last man of the 80s.
The world's changed.
It is.
Yeah. It's funny, I was watching...
What's that song? I got love for you if you were born in the 80s.
The 80s. Yeah, good song.
DCE.
I was watching a Michael Jordan movie recently. Not the
Space Jam.
basketballer. No, the actor. And what's it called? It's a vampire movie. It's called Misfits or something like that. It's not called Misfits. It's called... Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's called something. He plays twins in it. Search it. But the movie was set in the 1930s. And it was like they were drinking rum out of barrels. And I was like, is this how much the world's changed in one person's lifetime? The change from where the 1930s and what infrastructure looked like, cars and everything, and where we are now. How has that happened in one lifetime?
Yeah.
And what's our lifetime, I don't think we're going to see as dramatic a change. We sort of...
They say that every generation would have said that.
Yeah. But just everything they were doing. Beer was incredible. Having Irish beer in this town in America was unheard of. And the cars they drive, everything. I'm just how has the world changed that much in that short a space of time? One person's lifetime. And how lucky those people born around that time got to see all that change. I feel like we're going to see such mundane change during our lifetime.
It's a big call with AI.
Yeah, well...
And autonomous cars.
Yeah, but is that interesting? Autonomous cars is just we'll sit in the car and it will drive for us. That's not...
Are you joking? Are you actually joking? I mean, you think back to for those people born in the 80s, the idea of a driverless car.
Yeah.
And then no one driving.
But Matt, I've been getting told about driverless cars since I was 13 years old, that it was coming soon, that it was a thing. It's almost there. I know did we get in an Uber in LA that was driverless? Were you with us there? It was a driverless Uber.
One, yeah,
it was a driverless Uber in LA. It's whatever. It's a driverless car.
Oh, you're the man, eh?
No, but it's not that exciting. It's not going from...
But it doesn't need to be exciting. But it's a huge change.
But it's not going from, we have to write letters to now we can send stuff online. That's not going to be as big a change.
Think about the freedom. If you don't have to drive anymore, you can work instead of driving. And will cars be a thing of the past?
No, we'll still need to get around, won't we?
Train, metro.
No, but people will still want to not have to deal with the masses on public transport, and they'll want to get a car and drive around. Or sometimes the train won't be going where you need to go directly. So sometimes you don't have public transport as well available.
They'll put better infrastructure in public transport. You turn your nose up.
I don't turn my nose up.
When I arrived
do not turn my nose at public transport.
For a Sunday shift on coming on the train. Yeah,
I get shot because it doesn't suit your character because you hate people.
No, don't.
And then you're sitting there on the train.
I'm
That's
a man
why.
Of the people.
No, you pretend to be a man of the people.
So go
but
on
it
the
always
train.
shocks me. You get the train. I'm like, why have you got the train? It doesn't suit your personality. You like to keep to yourself. You like to hide in your car, go from one place to another, avoiding people, staying away from people. That's what you like to do.
Get the train, everybody. Great way to do whatever you want.
working.
relax.
Yeah.
Do some meditation, breathing exercises. Listen to the buy round.
Yeah.
I mean, you could listen to the buy round in your car as well.
Well, listen to the buy round on both. Maybe if you get the train and you've got a longer train, you listen to the whole episode on the way there. Listen to it on the way back as well, just in case you miss it. Sometimes you get those little nuggets that you only get the second time around.
See, on
watching Pulp Fiction.
See, on the train, you can focus and go like, oh, I'm going to skip 15 seconds on Charlie's when Charlie's talking. But when you're driving, don't do that because it's dangerous. You've got to keep focused on the road. So these are some of the advantages of
exactly right
using the train.
Exactly right. I don't even remember what we were talking about before this.
What
were we talking? We were talking about Manly. Just quickly on Manly.
Trbojevic,
all that stuff. If Fogarty could hit the ground running and Manly could go on a run, but they are one of those teams that I'm a bit worried about this year.
Yeah, I think naturally, we're all a bit unsure on how DCE moving on. You know, Seibold's another year in charge. Some of the question marks over the injury clouds that constantly, it's not nice to have this as a player, but it's a realistic thing for, people, fans, pundits to talk about is some of the injury concerns that come with their most influential players.
Yeah. And
how that affects the dynamics of the team. And even we look back to last year, Trbojevic moved to the centres, then he was moved back to fullback. This question of what's his best position, what's his most, what versus what is going to keep him on the field for the longest amount of time, is a question that needs to be answered by Coach Seibold, and we can't kid ourselves and say DC wasn't a distraction next year. They're going to move on from that. And look, at times last year, before a ball was kicked, I thought they could be a top 4 side, and I was proved wrong because that was based off potential in their style of football and the pace that they have. But there are some huge question marks.
A new CEO as well, Jason King, which is good. He's an interesting man. You've done a chat with him before. You can search that and you can listen to that podcast. Just a bit of breaking news as well. First of all, the movie was called Sinners. Thank you, Tony, with Michael B. Jordan. But Origin is going to be in New Zealand in 2027. That's been confirmed by Peter Bedell. The New Zealand government signed a $5 million deal to bring State of Origin across the ditch. Not 100% sure what arena that would be played at, but I assume that would be Christchurch, probably, Jimmy? Eden Park.
Yeah, Eden Park. Yeah, in Auckland. Yeah, it has to be in Auckland. Yeah, the game making big strides, but I think the very fact that Peter Bedell has broke that story, I mean, Chammy, Buzz.
Is Bedell the new number one?
Bedell.
See,
Bedell is that, but that's a big play from Bedell. That is a huge story, huge ramifications. Bedell's come in there. Look, he's in pole position now, Bedell. You can imagine Brent Reid, Dave Riccio, Carrie Arness all at home going,
Well,
Travis Main is fuming.
Yeah.
Like, wow, did Bedell get it?
Yeah. My mail is that Bedell has been tapped on the shoulder to potentially move to Sydney. But I think he's very happy up there in Brisbane.
Just as long as Ben Dobbin doesn't get tapped to move to Sydney.
Well, he needs to get a newspaper. Sorry. He doesn't have a newspaper column yet.
Move back to Sydney.
Move back to Mosman.
Move back to Sydney, yeah.
He'd be back to Mosman. I mean, but he needs to have he doesn't have a newspaper. Can you call yourself a journalist and not be attached to a newspaper?
No.
I think you probably need you need some skin in the game.
Or do you think Dobbin needs to go back to his lane and say, I'm a host?
Yeah, maybe.
From Mossman.
Suits him best, I think. Suits him best.
Yeah.
But new Auckland, I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Well, is this, apart from the game in the States, which wasn't an official State of Origin, this is the first time it's gone outside Australia.
Of course it is.
Was it a big deal when it got moved from outside New South Wales and Queensland? Because I've experienced Origin as a fan when it was just that, but not as like a consumer like I am now.
I think it was. The first time it happened, obviously
like it moved to Perth and Victoria, where people
were not happy with it at the time, obviously.
Yeah.
But now it's part of the NRL strategy to grow the game across Australia. So we have to accept it, and obviously New Zealand is just the New Zealand Warriors. The interest in them is thriving. Like if you live in Auckland, your favourite sport is now rugby league. It's not rugby union. That's how good
That
the
what you're
Warriors are
telling
going.
people, or
Well, no, that's if you know Auckland at all. It's 100% the case now.
Yeah.
The New Zealand Warriors are more popular than rugby is in Auckland. That doesn't necessarily mean all of New Zealand is on the same page, but popularity for rugby league is just growing and growing and growing.
yeah, it's. I imagine a huge part of the Commission's plan of strategic growth.
Yeah, second team in New Zealand. Because what's the best? The best part is rivalries. We need more rivalries. We saw, what the magic of even in the A-League, Sydney FC v the Western Sydney Wanderers over the weekend, and how passionate that fan base is and how much they hate each other. It's a true rivalry. Like, we need to lean into rivalries more as a game in the NRL. I think it's something that we don't do well enough. I think we need more barbs being fired across at each other clubs. Like, let's get around and sell these games. Like, let's pump them up. Let's create animosity.
Let's divide people.
Let's divide people.
Yeah.
Like,
We're not bringing people together. Be a divider.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I
like
want
it,
to divide.
Charlie.
I want to divide. It's better. It's better for the game. More people are going to watch a game when it's a really heated rivalry.
Because love implies hate.
Yeah.
And hate implies love. So this, all this woke nonsense about bringing people together. No, let's hate each other.
Let's hate each other.
But know where the line is.
Know where the line is.
Don't cross that line.
State v state, mate v mate.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Let's play a little game to finish the show then, Jimmy.
Connect 4.
It's not Connect 4, although we have had some emails of people inquiring.
Oh, really?
So if you do want to take someone on, we've had some messages from listeners. Glenn Hicks was one of them.
Bring your
I
dinner.
read his email. He's very much ready to go. There's a guy who messaged me as well who's actually he's a really good at another game. I thought, well, mate, we're talking about Connect 4 here. It's good that you got another game, but we're talking about Connect 4.
Why would you email say I'm really good at this game?
No, well, he's like a world champion. He's like a world champion of a board game,
of a board game, yeah.
Which I will find. I will find the email.
This is a bit like that movie that you were talking about. It's called
something. Sinners.
Imagine that, just looking up. Oh, what's that movie Charlie was talking about? Something.
All right, we're playing a game called Most Likely. So basically, we're going to read out segments or questions, and you're going to say who is most likely. If I've got one, I might chime in as well. But
oh yeah, you chime in, mate.
Who's most likely to win the comp outside the current favourites? And the current favourites is obviously Brisbane, Penrith, Melbourne.
I thought you were going to have. So I've given my answer, thinking that the Dogs should be one of the favourites, but
okay, well, let's say in your world, the Dogs are one of the favourites.
In my world, yeah. Like that really good defence that they have, that's up there with the best in the comp.
But they're probably the 13th?
Dolphins.
Okay. Yeah. You love them this year.
I really do. And if the stars align, they can go and win it.
Injuries,
form. Yeah, they can go and win it.
I like it. All right. Next one. Who's most likely to have an undefeated home record?
Storm. Because it's just Melbourne.
Can I throw another one out there as well? I reckon Canberra Raiders. I reckon Canberra Raiders are not getting enough love going in after what they did. I mean, losing Fogarty is important, but Fogarty isn't everything that team did last year. Like, there's so much good stuff at the Canberra Raiders.
Yeah,
I reckon they're going to be a contender again this year.
I think I'm with you, but again, it's the stars align thing, mate. And injuries, form. Like, they were blessed in terms of the injury gods. They wouldn't have traded that year. Like, it might not happen again. Like they were so.
But like
good.
Strange is older. Kale Weeks is older. Like Hudson Young is just getting better and better every year.
So
Tarpon, he's getting better and better every year. Like, apart from Fogarty, like I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. They'll be very difficult to beat at home.
Who's most likely to make their Origin debut this year?
Sam Walker.
Okay. Dearden and Sammy Walker in the halves, or Munster and Sammy Walker in the halves?
It's only, I say Sammy Walker because it's only going to take one injury.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that's all it will take. It is one injury, and there'll be someone shoot the lights out, and
well, he's almost guaranteed to be in the 18th, 19th spot if if there's no injuries anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, this time last year, Robert Toyer wouldn't have been on anyone's radar. A number of others, but I think Walker, because the logic is he's only one injury to two players away, and he'll likely get in that 18th, 19th spot.
I like it. Who's most likely to make headlines for a mid-season transfer?
Pappenhausen.
Ryan Pappenhausen.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I say that because it might not be Melbourne.
Okay.
And that could be impacted by Zach Lomax. Because if Zach goes to Melbourne, I don't know if Melbourne could afford Pappenhausen back.
Mm.
But if he doesn't go, or if he's not allowed to go, they might have the space.
I wonder if that would be allowed as well by the NRL. It's like, would Pappenhausen have to be on the same money? Because it kind of seems like that would be a way of rorting the cap to a degree. It's like, your player doesn't play for a few months.
Yeah.
They release their $1 million salary. Now he's back for a few months on $500,000, and then he's been looked after on the side as well. Like that's.
Yeah. They're gonna have to be very careful.
I reckon there'd be too many red flags.
100%. Yeah.
An Origin. Can I give you an Origin debut this year?
Go on.
Helam Lukey.
Ooh, yes.
I've said this, I reckon,
Great shout.
every year for 4 years.
Great shout.
I said Blake Brayley a couple years ago. I was just a couple years early. Maybe this is the year where he gets it, but I feel like Helam Lukey, I've been on his bandwagon for 4 years of the podcast, and I'm telling you, if he just stays fit,
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
he's going to come. I reckon this is the year where he comes good. I'm worried about jinxing him, but I reckon this is the year where he comes good. You can actually watch him this weekend in the trial, which is pretty exciting.
He's probably a headliner for the Cowboys, apart from Purdue at the 6.
Purdue's at 6, so it's Purdue and Cliff are in the half, so it's kind of like, if Purdue's wearing 6, is he going to be Dean's partner for the year? It would seem that way.
No one of real, like, there's nothing like too exciting in the Dogs that you got.
So my mail is the Dogs are going to actually play a stronger team next week.
Yeah, I think that's usually what happens.
But it's funny with the flights though and stuff. So they're going to play a trial and then not long after that fly over.
Yeah.
So
But I think that's usually what you do. The main team doesn't play the first week, plays the second week off, and then play.
Yeah.
Obviously with the extra travel to Vegas. What's been surprising, I know we were a little bit through the most likely, but I reckon we wrap it up there because we'll save some for the next time.
Save some gold.
Tyson Frizzell playing.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
I know. I wonder if he's ever played a game on the 7th of February, like that early in the year.
He will have done, but I mean, look, the 9th of.
Do you reckon he will have done? Because the comps, it's starting early because of the Vegas teams. I don't reckon Tyson Frizzell's played a preseason challenge game before. Like, he's 34 years old now, Tyson. This would be the earliest game of rugby league he's ever played in a calendar year.
Yeah. Sometimes players need to be almost saved from themselves. Look, I get wanting to play and you say the right thing, but strange.
Yeah, very strange. So is that all you want to do then today? You don't want to finish the other games of most likely. You don't want to tell me who's most likely to shock everyone in round 1.
Para.
Well, and end Melbourne Storms.
Well, that's the best potential. That's the headline chaser media people that we are, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, if Melbourne lose round 1 to Para with all the stuff going on around Lomax and the record of the Storm in round 1, this famous record, like that'd be huge.
Yeah. We haven't spoken about the Lomax thing. We've done that intentionally, by the way. We thought about talking about it. We kind of feel like everyone's sick of hearing about the Lomax things. That's why
there's just nothing to say, is there? That hasn't already been said because it was still in limbo.
Yeah.
Like the Storm saying, well, we're not the victims. No one said you are.
Yeah.
Like, no one's blaming you for trying to sign someone. They're just saying you can't.
Yeah. And they've upped their offer to $300,000. Not enough.
What are Para going to do with that?
Well, we said we weren't going to talk about it. We said we weren't going to talk about
Take
it.
everyone out for a feed.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But I mean, we're not talking about it because nothing's changed.
Yep. Great to see you, James Graham, as always, my friend.
Thanks, Charlie White. We planning out our little Vegas structure.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Denver and watch Nikola Jokic. Biggest dream of mine. I'm a huge Denver Nuggets fan. And Nikola Jokic is like the best athlete that's ever played for Denver. I almost like, as a kid, Thierry Henry was my favorite athlete. But Nikola Jokic has overtaken him. And that's pretty hard to do as an adult to have.
It is a difficult thing as an adult. It makes me ask some questions. Denver, by the way, take your oxygen. I've been there.
Altitude.
It is honestly, we played a test match over there. People say, what's the hardest game you've ever played? Test match in Denver.
Yeah.
Just, oh my God, it was.
Was it in a roof that game? Or
No,
was it open air?
it was hot as well.
Yeah.
I can remember looking at Nicarima. He had the ball on last tackle, and I'm not a religious person, but I said a prayer. I said, please don't let Cody Nicarima run at me here, because I was in quicksand cement. I couldn't move a millimeter. I was that tired, and thankfully he kicked the ball.
Weren't the kicks doing funny things as well? The balls weren't getting as much height, or they weren't.
I think New Zealand kicked. We scored, and they kicked it out on the full like 3 times.
Yeah,
because you just tap it, and because the thinness of the air
just goes flying.
Went flying.
Yeah, wow.
Like, walking up the stairs in the hotel, it was like it got you.
Yeah. Luckily, I do altitude training at Combined Air.
Oh,
so I'll be ready to go for it. I'll be ready to go.
You'll be sweet, mate. Yeah.
Part of my F45 challenge. Yeah. Combined Air Paddington. Shout
out. Free membership coming for you anytime soon. We'll wrap up on that. Hey, Charlie. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will catch you soon.